was easy for me to establish an award because I grew up in rural Alberta, where when you need something, a swimming pool, a concert series, an arena, people in the community get together and make it happen. And my dad always used to donate to 2 different churches, although he never went to church himself. And my mom established a small scholarship at the local school for kids who were thinking about teaching as a career. So it was natural for me to do that, to think about a scholarship or a prize. Other people are not always as comfortable with that idea. So it took me a little while to convince another colleague that this would be a very good way to mark the service that she had given to the Faculty of Education. Sheila Pritchard was a sessional instructor. She worked with us for about 4 years, but she'd been very much connected with the faculty for a long time, working with our graduates to integrate them into the school system. She had been a learning resources consultant at the Edmonton Public School District. So it was quite an exciting time for me and for her to start an award. And she's since died, but her name will live forever in the faculty.
Particularly education and music, there are the students. Often it's a mature student who is trying to improve their education, and that happens sometimes to be a single mother with a family, which means that she has to have an apartment, not just a room, and she has babysitting and all the other things, extra food, extra costs. And I'm amazed with some of the letters that I have how determined they have. A part-time job, they're trying to do studies, they're paying for tuition, they're looking after a family as well, and the burden must be extreme. So I'm happy that my little bit can at least relieve that pressure a little bit. And it's the same with students from out of town, such as the Aboriginal students. They have to find expenses, cover expenses, they need to find the money for it, and so I thought that would be the areas that I wanted to help in. And I did have, actually, I'm so pleased to receive letters, because it does let me know what they plan to do and their situation. And I know I had, although it's not education, I had a music student who was finishing her master's degree, and she told me that if she hadn't received the scholarship, she would not have been able to do the last semester because her funds had run out. So it's two-way. You're helping someone, and yet at the same time it gives you the satisfaction that you're helping somebody else, and you've contributed to the fact that they're able to complete their studies, and that gives you a warm feeling too.
My family was a family of railroad people, and at that time that I went through in the 50s, in the late 40s and 50s, there was not much money around, and I managed to go through the 5 years working actually at Silverwood Dairies every summer for 5 years without getting any help from bursaries or other monetary funds. So when I was asked to do something about helping students after I graduated, of course, I thought back of the time that I had gone through university without any financial help, and I knew that things were different nowadays from the time that I went through. Courses were cheaper, and I lived at home, and those two things made a difference. So consequently, now that I had the money, I was glad to help students go through education and become hopefully better teachers.
I established the Nancy Lord Aboriginal Education Teachers Scholarship to encourage the learning of Aboriginal students. because I feel that their future lies in more education.
The award is the George Lingle Global Citizenship in Ghana Travel Award. The award is for up to 4 students currently, until we can get more money in it. For 4 students are given $500 towards their expenses for the field experience, which is EDFX 490 field experience in Ghana, and it's a global citizenship course. My brother was very much interested in experiential learning, and he traveled all over the world and taught all over the world. And his experiential teaching experiences, he wanted to give back something to others that he had learned. And so the importance of having students go out and try something very different from anything they had either done before, or to just spread their wings a little bit more. The professionalism of learning about global citizenship and how important it is these days to our classrooms, it all played part in why he wanted to make this endowment happen. The award brings back so much for me, although it's my brother's endowment. For myself, being in the international office, I'm the one that gets to see a lot of the students, or get to know a little bit about the students and see the differences in them from pre, during, and post the experience. For me, there's a lot of times where I see a little bit of my brother in the students. Sometimes I see a lot of them, which can be just really rewarding to see how they respond to the new experience, and how my brother responded to new experiences. It's like he's still living on, and that is it's very touching and makes it all worthwhile.
The award that I received was in my 5th year. I had already received a Canada student loan, but I wasn't able to work because I was doing my APT. So I didn't have time to take on any more of a load than I could. So I applied for this and I got the award, and it really helped me in terms of being able to focus completely on finishing my last practicum, having a lot more peace of mind financially, not having to worry about groceries and whatnot, and it was great. Money always comes along at U of A when you really, really need it and when you're kind of down in the dumps, so it put a smile on my face and kind of helped me transition. And now that I'm teaching and have an income, I have less of a student debt to worry about in terms of paying back, so it's definitely given me a leg up as I move into the workforce as well. I would like the donors just first and foremost to know that although they probably don't receive the recognition they deserve, it is greatly appreciated, and the financial burdens that are on students right now are very insurmountable, and I couldn't have got through university without receiving bursaries, loans, scholarships and whatnot. And just from the bottom of my heart, thank you. It's an amazing thing to get, and the smile that it puts on a student's face when they're kind of struggling to make ends meet, it's irreplaceable. And without, like I said, without those financial assistance programs, I definitely wouldn't have been able to get through university.
When I grew up in South Africa, and so when I was 7, we lived outside of the town, and so we would always take in a 45-minute bus ride every morning to get to school, and it was always the worst old rickety bus. This was during apartheid, so certain groups in society didn't always get, the best in terms of, I can't think of the word. In terms of resources, yeah. And so, so it wasn't, the fact that we had a bus to go to school though with, that was in itself just an amazing thing. And so one day when we're going home from school, there were kids who went to another local black school, basically, and most of these kids didn't really had to walk to school. They would have to walk an hour to 2 hours to get to school. And so as we were going past one day, they stoned our bus. And at the time I was really young and I didn't understand. But my mom was amazing, and she explained it to me that it was really because we had something that they didn't have, and talking about how education was so important to them that they would, basically go to extremes to be able to go to school. And so it really set in motion for me the importance of what education meant. And so when I was trying to decide kind of what I wanted to do as a career when I left high school, it kind of seemed to come inevitably. Like I kind of knew exactly what I wanted to do. I'd really like to thank the Carson family, actually, for the Richard Sheridan Carson Scholarship in Intercultural International Education. The scholarship gave me an opportunity to actually travel to Ethiopia to do my research, or travel back to Ethiopia to do my research. And it added a different component to my research, because without being able to travel there to interview people, it would have just been a theoretical piece. And I was able to add an experiential piece by talking about people, about their lives and their experiences, and that made a huge difference. So I really would like to say thank you to them for that.
I think the big thing with the scholarships is one, it really helped me financially, not only paying for my tuition, but it also freed me up from trying to find various part-time jobs to pay for schooling. Because of these scholarships, they really allowed me to expand my horizons by volunteering through various programs, such as the Special Olympics. I also coached a junior high basketball team, and because of the scholarships, I had the financial backing where I didn't have to cut those out of my life just so I can afford school. So they really helped me out in that sense.
Well, this award meant a lot to me. I knew it was the first year that the award was being given out, and my husband is also in the Canadian Army, in the same regiment that Sergeant George Armiak was serving in while he was in Afghanistan. And so while I was doing my degree, my husband was also in Afghanistan, and to apply to be able to possibly win this award meant that I could go forward and carry on the legacy that George left in his life, which was, living a life where he believed that he could make the world a better place, and I hope I can too. For me, this scholarship was more than money. To be able to meet the family of George's family was so powerful. We really connected around the shared experience that we had, and to be able to be acknowledged, I guess, in some small way for the commitment that families make also to supporting folks who are in the Canadian Forces was hugely meaningful. It was a part of my existence that I can't separate from being an educator or being a difference maker in the world, but certainly was nice to be able to have that. Thank you for believing in me and for giving me the opportunity to believe in myself.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
To the donors who helped me achieve my goals and really allowed me to expand and realize who I wanted to become in life, I want to say, most importantly, thank you.
So I really would like to say thank you to them for that.